Shabbat Shalom. It is a true oneg, a Shabbat delight to share the Holy Blossom Bima with your fantastic clergy team and musical ensemble, and to be able to share some Torah with you on this Shabbat Hagadol, this huge Shabbat immediately preceding Pesach. Now, one popular reason for the Shabbat being called Hagadol, I was talking to Cantor Rosen a bit earlier, you could spend much of this Shabbat counting how many times the word Gadol or its variations appears in our service. That's one thing you can do. But it also turns out it's a long-standing custom of clergy to give huge substantive sermons, presumably to give congregants plenty to chew on, along with all that matzah, Rabbi. In planning this Shabbat with Cantor Rosen, we thought my presence would provide the perfect pretext to offer some of the most substantive musical selections inspired by the texts of the Passover Haggadah. And while only one of these selections was actually meant to be sung at the Seder, all of them set the table beautifully for our upcoming Chag. Shalom Sekunda's setting of the Kiddush for 3 festivals was first made famous in the recording studio as the leading track on Richard Tucker's 1962 LP, Passover Seder Festival. Anyone have that? Well, you'll hear now how familiar melodic motifs are elevated with classic cantorial melismas, colorful choral commentary, and a deep appreciation for the sanctity of the holiday. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei, borei, peri agafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol am, ורוממנו מכל לשון, וקידשנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, ביבוא מועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון. את יום חג המצות הזה, חג המצות הזה, זמן חירותנו מקרא קודש זכר, זמן חירותנו מקרא קודש זכר, זכר, זכר ליציאת מצרים, זכר, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ומועדי קודשך בשמחה ובששון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני. מקדש ישראל והזמנים. ברוך אתה אדוני. אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. לזמן הזה. Most of us know only one musical setting of the four questions. How does it go? Beautiful. And most of us probably consider that to be Mi Sinai, given down on Mount Sinai, as old as the Ten Commandments themselves. But believe it or not, it was actually written just 90 years ago by the Israeli composer Ephraim Avileya as part of an oratorio called Chag HaCherut, Festival of Freedom. We're going to sing the composer's original version, just 2 out of the 4 questions for time's sake. We're only going to dip into it twice. But you'll listen for how some of the notes and phrases are a little different than how we sing it today, and hear how nearly a century of what we call the folk process has done to recompose what Abileya first wrote in 1936. מה נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות, מכל הלילות, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה, חמץ ומצה. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולו מצה, כולו מצה. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולו מצה, כולו מצה. מה נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות? Like that. מכל הלילות. שבכל הלילות אין אנו מטבילים אפילו פעם אחת. אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, 2 פעמים, 2 פעמים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה.
הלילה הזה, שתי פעמים, שתי פעמים. Beautiful. Ma'anis Shana is toward the beginning of the main narrative portion of the Haggadah, the Magid, which invites us to question, to recount and even relive the struggles of our forebears, reminding us that in every generation there are those who seek to destroy the Jewish people. Vehi she'amda, but that which stood for our ancestors still stands for us, their descendants, even now. In spite of our enemies' best attempts to put an end to us, the Holy One of Blessing rescues us from their hands. HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadam. Contemporary religious songwriter Yonatan Razel's anthemic treatment of these stirring words, arranged for choir by Doron Ben Ami, includes a nigun, a wordless tune which melodically portrays both the rise and the fall of our foes and our unwavering resolve to resist them by standing strong, hand in hand. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. הקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. קדוש מצילנו מידם. Hallel, the archetypal festival song session, since the days of the temple in Jerusalem, typically consists of Psalms 113 through 118, recited without interruption. But in the Haggadah, as you may have noticed, Psalms 113 and 114 are recited before the meal, and Psalms 115 through 118 are recited after the meal. One reason why might be that Psalm 114, also called B'tzeit Yisrael for its first two words, captures the exodus from Egypt in a sort of freeze frame, depicting all the supernatural ways that nature rejoices with us. The sea flees away, the mountains skip like rams, the rivers run in reverse. Many published Haggadot feature musical notation for this fanciful psalm, along with other commonly sung texts, and the one published by Schulzinger Brothers House in 1950 was no different. That Haggadah's music editor, an influential New York chazan named Joshua Samuel Weiser, or Pilderwasser for short. You know he was special because he had his own diminutive nickname. He presumably used the power of his position to include his own march-like take on B'tzeit Yisrael, which he intended to be sung around the Seder table a cappella, without instruments. And the middle section of it, Malecha Hayam. Yeah, that one. That's his, and it has survived the test of time. It's one of the most popular settings of the text in Ashkenazic communities around the world, and I can tell you recognize much of it. But, as was the case with Abilea's setting of Manish Tana we shared a moment ago, 75 years of the folk process has transformed Pilderwasser's Psalm 114 as well. I want to invite Cantor Rosen to join me, and we're going to sing it in Ashkenazic the way it was first rendered. Also a cappella. We just need a C and an F in that order, please. Maybe let's switch.
Yeah.
Okay. B'tzeit Yisrael mi Mitzrayim, Beis Yaakov me'am lo'ez, Hoyeso Yehuda l'kodsho, Yisrael mamshelo sab, Hayom rav hayonos, Hayarden yisov le'achor, Harim rakedu chaylim, Harim rakedu chaylim, Gvos kivnei tzon. Malecha hayom kisanus,
Malecha hayom kitanus, hayarden tisov leachor, heharim tekedu chelim, gvahot kivnei tzon.
Malecha hayom kisanus, hayarden tisov leachor, heharim terkedu chaylim, gvos kivnei tzon.
Malecha hayom kisanus, hayarden tisov leachor, heharim tekedu chelim, gvos kivnei tzon.
Milifnei Adon chuli aretz, chuli aretz, milifnei Adon chuli aretz, milifnei Eloah Yaakov, hahofchi, hatzur, hagamayim, hahofchi, hatzur, hagamayim, chalamish, chalamish, lemay. as I prepare to conclude this huge sermon and song for Shabbat Hagadol, based on music inspired by the Haggadah, I would be remiss not to thank our extraordinary seven-voice octet, Jennifer, Gwyneth, Shannon, James, Dave, Mark, William, and Holy Blossom's marvelous musician in residence, Jason, for their professionalism, preparation, and participation in a very small, precious window of rehearsal time. Thank you. And my deepest thanks as well to Cantor Rosen for graciously allowing me to share this oral Torah for Shabbat Hagadol, which I hope gives us all food for thought as we sing around our Seder tables just a few nights from now. We have just one more offering for you now. I feel kind of sheepish to admit it. One of the best settings of Chad Gadya ever written, maybe even the GOAT. That's G-O-A-T. As penned by the great Moshe Oisher, his real name, I kid you not. Temple singers are flocking to the call.
And we need all of your help. This is the 6th year we're doing this. So I think the first year I didn't hear you because you were all at home and I was here. But all the rest of the years, we know this now. So you're going to join in when we signal you. Here we go, from the top.
Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya.
Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya.
Dizah binabo.
Dizah binabo.
Dizah binabo bisay zuzay labadam babidam mai bidibibam. Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya. Deep, 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 deep. Dizah binabo bisay zuzay labadam babidam mai bidibibam. Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya. Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya.
Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya,
Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya.
ויעשה לכאורה ויכלה לקריה דיזה בנבה, דיזה בנבה, דיזה בנבה בישראל זוזי אברהם אברהם ביי בדבימם חד גדיה חד גדיה בברה בברה דיזה בנבה בישראל זוזי אברהם אברהם ביי בדבימם חד גדיה חד גדיה חד גדיה חד גדיה.
Pick a note that sounds good. חבל לנורה, דשרף לחוטרה, דחיקה לחלבה, דחיקה לחלבה, דנשך לשונה, דיח ללגד, דיח לגריה. It's good philosophy.
שוכן למלך המוות שוכן לשייט שוכן לסיידה דחבל לנורה דשוסה למאיה דחבל לנורה דסבל לחוטה דחיקה לך דנשך לשונה דיח לגד דיח לגריה. Hagadya, 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 Hagadya. Izabana bisre suze, abram babram mai bim bam. Hagadya, Hagadya.
Shabbat Shalom. I think we need to conclude our service, Rabbi. Or we could keep singing it.